Hello, welcome back to the show. Week number 3.
We made
How you
it.
doing?
Feel good. This is exciting. Week number 3.
Hold on, I gotta go back to my prison cell. Just a second.
I also got a light, you guys, so you guys can see my big head. Even better than you already could. I need to remember not to sit so close. The reason why I do it is because I can't read if I sit back here.
Yeah, we just gotta lean in and see everything. So, welcome back to In the Box Office. We're so excited, but we have a lot to get into today, so we're gonna kind of jump right in with our first ever guest. We're gonna welcome Dex Hopkins.
What's up, Dex?
What's up? What's up? I'm sweating in the meat locker. It's my garage gym. Big tactical error today, but now we're living in it. So
That's okay. Making the best of it for sure.
yeah.
How pumped are you to be the first guest on In the Box Office?
I love being a guest in general. First guest is so what an honor. What an honor for me. I had to make sure I had a non-jail cell background. I take feedback well ahead of time. So vicarious learner here. So we can
I just
dodge
had
a
to
bunch of bullets.
show off my beautiful new gym for half a second.
So I get spammed for you. Somebody I'm friends with or follow randomly that I don't know at all. One of those things. Signed up there and I got spammed for the gym. It's sick. Congrats.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. It's working, clearly.
No, dude, it looked in the background there. I was like, that's because I've been cleaning a gym for a month. I was like, that's sick. It looks very clean. So
I love
appreciate those
Thank
things.
It looks
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no better time than now to get started. But so Dex, you and I met all the way back. I think it was 2022, I believe, at the CrossFit Games, and that was my first time ever having backstage access. I had a media pass. I was like a runner for the morning chalk up and helped run errands. And I think it was the very first day of the games, and I didn't know what to do with myself because I had never been in that environment before. There's athletes walking by me, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I think PC introduced us because you were there doing content, correct?
Yeah, I think that year I was comp trains. I'd been friends with Ben for a while. He was the first coach I ever had and all that stuff. So I always find a way to weasel myself back there in some form to get to kick it with the homies at the game.
So somehow we got introduced by PC and we chatted, and my head is on a swivel the whole time. And at one point you're like, "Where do you think I'm from?" And I was like,
"Yeah,
no idea. What do you mean?"
This was definitely PC's fault. He definitely probably brought that up. So yeah.
And I was like, "What do you mean?" And you're like, "How can you not tell where I'm from?" And now after talking to you more than once and actually being in the conversation, it's very obvious that you have a southern.
I'm from California. Thank you. Thank you.
You're a Valley girl, right?
I'm Valley girl. It's a non-regional diction I have. It's not. It's Valley Forrest Gump. So that's what it is.
Tell the people where are you from?
I'm from Mississippi, but I live in Vestavia Hills or Hoover, Alabama now, kind of a suburb of Birmingham. Just took over a gym here, CrossFit Shades. It's been an awesome 2 months of sprinting nonstop. So
the grind, right?
It's it's the only job I've had my entire adult life. And I think it's very rare that you find the calling or whatever the Lord built me for, this is it. I've tried to get out of it. I've tried to go be a fireman and do other things, and just good things keep coming my way in this. I can't shake it. So I think it's where I'm supposed to be, and it always works out well. So
I was gonna say,
I can relate.
Yeah, meant to be. We're all
you can relate. I know that gyms. God, I know it smells good in there too. New gyms are so good, dude. It smells like rubber still.
Rubber. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a tire shop of fitness. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
So shortly after that, I think we followed each other on Instagram, and I'm, scrolling, doing my daily scroll, and all of a sudden I come across a jump scare.
Okay, whoa now, let's be gentle. It's not a jump scare. It is early CrossFit Dex. Okay.
We're coming in hot.
I don't even know what picture you're about to pull up, but I can guess. So.
Let me just show everybody who has not been a follower of him for quite some time what he used to look like.
Okay, I still look like that. I was just covered up.
Long hair, very long beard. I was not prepared when I saw that, and still to this day, I think like last week or a few weeks ago you posted it. I was like, oh, a little warning next time.
Look, man, look, I had gotten married and I did not shave or cut my hair for 5 years. And that was 2018 regionals. That's my man Zach Watts in the background. We had our entire training group there. It was like me, Zach Watts, Zach and Ryan Souder, who were Brute athletes, and I coach for Brute now. So, full circle kind of moment. I was still with Misfit then. But we had a blast that year, man. Like that was like the end of the golden years. I told somebody like 2 weeks ago we were talking about it. So yeah, I was happy. My mom was there. It was that was a good year, man.
It's given like Jared Stevens.
Don't you do it. Don't you dare. So fun. I love Jared. Great athlete. We were all in the same region, did team together for years. We had like our team, his team, like me, Austin, Jessica Cahoy. Now they're married. Like their whole team, Bailey and Tyler, before they went to Mayhem. We were all homies, right? So we'd all go out after, kick it in the back. Me and him did not like each other for no reason other than like the same thing you just did. And apparently all his friends are giving him shit about looking like me, and all my friends are giving me shit about looking like him. So it's like a joke we weren't in on. And so, but yeah, man, I miss the hair. I do not miss the beard. I actually sold the beard at the Hawaiian Trail Run for charity. Let some guy shave it off. So that's where we laid it to rest in Kauai. So miss the hair, but I have children now that would pull it from short hair all the way. Tega, Walmart Jesus, sir, you're my friend. Okay. You're giving
Sorry,
Spanish
that was too good
holiday.
not to pin up there.
No, he's gonna be on me this whole time. So, but yeah, that was a good one. And look at this list of rest day things. ALD. I'm not gonna say what that means. Yeah, man, that was a good year. Take me back.
Can we ever expect to see either the beard or the hair back in the near future?
Heavens no.
No.
The beard when it's cold, I'll grow the beard to where I can do the little sweet handlebar mustache thing. But we keep it real efficient right now. Those 5 a.m. classes come early, so I keep it short. We can get up and go. Save about 15 minutes on the old alarm clock.
Hey, you got to be efficient, right?
Got to. Yeah. And this is my mom passed away in 2020, and this is how she liked my hair. So we'll lock it in there. You got to keep it
that way.
She was my barber my whole life. So yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh my God.
Except for those 5 years, right?
Except for that, she hated it. She hated it. Where's my baby? You don't look like my baby anymore. That's what she'd say. So
that's so cool.
But she would like my best friend Vic. She like bleached his hair in the sink of my house that year, and so I was the one that had the weird hair standard. She'd get everybody else as crazy looking as they wanted to be. So.
I love it.
Yeah,
love it.
But I remember that year, man. That was a good year. Me and Lauren did the wrap up show, and I remember. Because I asked you, I was like, "Hey, you're 6 foot, right?" And you're like, "No, I'm 5'10". I said, "That's what every 6 foot woman says is I'm 5'10". So that's okay.
I think I'm 5'11" now. I don't know. Maybe I grew.
Now we don't.
Forever.
I hit my second growth spurt. That's okay.
I hate being tall and so badly just want to be shorter. So I think for a long time I tried to say I was 5'10", but I'm definitely 5'11".
No, dude. Look, you buy heels, be tall, go crazy. Being tall is great.
Yeah, and I'm on the other end. I'm so short, and I don't like being short.
Well, that's why at WFP she gets to hold the camera and you hold the mic. She can hold it right over. It's everybody's got to have a guy on the team. That's okay.
Exactly. For me, for sure.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know Dex, I'm just going to give you a little bit of an intro. He is currently the part-time owner, head coach, manager at Shades CrossFit, wearing the shirt, repping the brand. He is a 4 times CrossFit Games athlete, a Brute coach, and probably the most important title, a girl dad of 2 girls. So you obviously have a lot of titles, wear a lot of hats. How do you decide where you spend your energy, how you're on any given day, like how it goes?
Man, we moved here, so I've been here 2 months, and coming in and kind of getting the ship right, cleaning stuff, kind of getting the product on the floor to where we want it, and just getting back in line. I mean, like I've been in affiliates my whole adult life, and my heart is there for sure. I think it's just like a heart for service and loving on people. And like I said, I think I'm built for that, and it's my favorite place. But ahead of that will always come those 2 little girls, and it's they're 3 and 5, Logan and Anna, and it's being the girl dad thing's been just the most beautiful savage adventure I've ever been on, and I'm sure it'll continue to be as they get 15 years old and cry. I don't know at what point y'all turn the crazy on and they're sisters. So I don't know when you start hating each other, but I can
It's
foresee
coming
it.
soon, soon.
Yeah. So I got to sharpen my referee skills and like that's the fun part now. Like where we moved, the neighborhood's so cool because there's always kids. Like, I mean, you can't see it now, but I'm in the garage gym. So we have like a salt runner and cool stuff. My oldest will have kids in here doing assault runner sprints like she's their coach, like clocking them. Like, I still can run the fastest. And so
Wait, I
that
love
no, dude, it's their sad. My youngest one's the savage. My oldest one's like a dictator. And so they'll have like, I mean, there's 8 kids in here 2 days ago, just going nuts. And like you could like they're little, they work out, so we have all their stuff in here.
that.
So
Wait, I love that.
yeah, and it's so I stack all the hats on at once. They come to the gym. My little one will help me assistant coach. My oldest one will be out doing nature walks and stuff with my girlfriend. And so it is a family affair for sure, man. And these people have brought us in. And it's been just what you want it to be at an affiliate, right? Like all the people are. It's an awesome group of people, and it's so kind of vast age group wise. And like somebody asked us like what our avatar of athlete is. I was like, shit, I couldn't tell you. Everybody, you got some fitness you need. We got that. So it's been awesome to step back into it full time. Just kind of since I had gotten divorced and all that stuff, I'd kind of been around, deciding if I want to try to do full time online and all that stuff, and I love that. But the in person stuff, man, it's just it's so much deeper water to me. Just trying to affect people's life in a healthy way. So that's kind of we merge it all together, wear all the hats all the time.
I feel that. I
I
obviously
can't
am
hear
in a
you.
similar position, have done a lot of virtual
I
and
can't hear
coming.
you. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Let me fix this thing.
Did you hit your
What
volume?
happened? Audio. Oh no. Not good. Hold on. Let me turn these things off. We might have to go raw dog with the iPhone stuff.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
We were doing so
All right, talk now. Let me
good.
see.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
I can't hear anything you guys are saying. This is crazy.
Do you think you
Kick
just
me
hit
out
us?
and bring me back in.
No.
Can we?
We'll bring him back.
Technical difficulties. Let's see here. All right, let me bring him back in and see.
I still can't hear.
Can you hear us?
Can chat people hear you guys? Am I the
Yeah.
only one?
Can you guys hear us? Somebody in the chat.
Okay, my headphones are charged, sir. All right, shit. Hold on. Let me leave and come back. Hold on.
Can somebody in the chat confirm that you guys can hear me and Mason? Okay.
Yeah, they can. Okay.
Okay.
So it's all Dex's fault, basically. We just got to get him back on.
Thanks, guys. We missed you guys for the week. It's like the week goes by so incredibly fast. Let's see.
Now we're back.
Okay. I love it.
All right. There we go. Yes,
We
Tegan, this is
were
the meat locker.
Gotta go back to not paying attention to the comments because they just went off when we asked them to talk to us. And now back to Dex. Of course, it was all your fault for the technical difficulty, not
I'll
ours,
take it.
really.
I'll take it.
So we were just talking about kind of you recently took this role, right? Like 2 months ago, you said?
Yeah, it hadn't been long. So I moved from Huntsville to Birmingham. I was at an Iron Tribe, if you guys remember what that is. I knew Iron Tribe through like CrossFit suing them for franchising CrossFit, and they're like very local Birmingham business, and they do a lot of things right. Very much a different flow, but they do CrossFit, without having to get into the weeds of it. But this just worked out, man. I met a lady, Sarah Hayes. She owns a few gyms in the area. I was moving here to be closer to my girls, and I'll presume, like I said, I cannot get away from it. I was like in the process trying to become a fireman, and does not work out when it's not what you're supposed to be doing. So this presented itself to me, and we kind of grabbed the reins and ran with it full speed.
I can relate. I have tried to step away from the idea of opening a gym for the last 5 years, and here I am opening a gym. So I get it. Do you think that coming into like working in a brick and mortar and doing in person has kind of forced you to take a back seat in any of those other roles or hats we talked about at the beginning?
No. So for the longest time, like I was at CrossFit Maximus in Lexington for a long time and got super enabled to stay in a fake it till you make it scenario because I just had people around me that were so good. Nathan Spitz, our whole like most of the athletes on our team work there, and so we're just fortunate enough to have like a really good team where we'd all kind of prop each other up in our weak areas. But here it's been me last year being like the last year I'm going to compete, so kind of retiring from competition, and this being like the sole focus with like competitive athletes with Brute and getting back into the affiliate full time. Like it doesn't seem like I've kind of had to take anything away, you know, because I'm not spending 3 hours. I only do class 5 days a week now, and so which has been awesome. Like I said, the community there is just awesome, and we got a good group of coaches who are just going to continue to grow and stuff like that. So that's the kind of not losing energy. It's kind of like relit the fire, man. Because like I said, I'm built to be full time in there. I'm gonna be there anyway, and so not having to do a 3 hour session or 2 sessions or whatever to train to try to be competitive and not be broken is kind of taking a lot of the pressure off all that stuff to make it hard to manage the time.
Not be broken. That's a fun way to put that.
Yeah.
So I run an after school program called Girls Gone Buff, where I teach teen girls and preteen girls weightlifting, and we talk about body image and mental health and all of that. And I've just had such a wild change in perspective interacting with young girls in this space. Um, and it just makes me think of like if I was a parent. So you being a girl dad, do you think that's changed your approach to being a coach, interacting with athletes, how you kind of view this space maybe through that lens?
I think like the emotional maturity of it and kind of growth in that has been like a huge thing. Very much like the emotional, gentle parent type, and you know, having little girls fits the bill. So it's been awesome, man. Like I think I've always been pretty gentle and like chronically vulnerable with people, just as a like a transparency thing with people. Like, hey, here's all my cards and who I am. I'm just as messed up and all these things as you are, and this is like the place where we come to like get better together in all these kind of aspects. And so it's yeah, it was a definitely like a speed up of like the emotional maturity thing and trying to learn to like diffuse things and be a little gentler. And you know, because they're 3 and 5, we are learning peaked out emotions and all these things. So
You are
it's
busy for sure.
dude, it's beautiful, man. Like I think at the end of the day now, it's the most beautiful version of tired, especially like when they're with me all day. Like I'm selfish with them. I'll keep them to myself as much as I can, and it's been awesome. Like they love being in the gym. Like I put up a video the other day of my little one skiing. Like she does the warm up with classes, and you know their mom was on our games team in 2015. Like super fit lady. She was always a great athlete. Like she was better than me. I just got lucky. She started residency. Um, and so somebody asked me that the other day. They know both of us kind of separately, and they're like, "Who's the better athlete?" I was like, "Hands down, her when she has time. Like she was a sicko." But and they both have that in them. So, and they're mix of genes. Like my mom's like Kate. Like my mom was 6 feet tall, and she would tell you she was 6 foot. She wasn't a 5'10" lady. But their grandmother on my wife's side, 5'10", close to 6 foot. Her sister, dad, 5'2", her 5'2". So it's a real mixed bag for like the size we're gonna get. They're close enough to where they're gonna play sports together. So I'd love to have like a pitcher catcher duo. Um, and I've always, like you said, like awesome for you having like a girls gone buff thing. Like I think getting in early and letting them realize that like strength is not just for men and muscles are cool and being healthy and all those things is awesome. I think yeah, dude, the more people that you know, and that's what affiliates are, man. Getting people into a space to where like health is something cool and like a habit you build into your life, and you let this, you know, just what affiliates are. Like Greg said, it's a beacon, right? And it has the most elegant solution to the world's most vexing problem. I think some of that with younger girls is like, hey, eat less, be tinier, instead of like take up space and be stronger, whether that's emotionally or physically. I think putting them in a position of having like an outlet where it's just them where they can come into that is an awesome thing. And so I'm a lot more adamant about trying to do that now and work with like youth or girls to facilitate that in a way that's like the most comfortable, right? And so that's things I'm more excited about. So it's awesome that you kind of, and you know, Kate's got a thing with what did we talk about, the legends class?
Yep. Yep.
So
My
that's
second class with Parkinson's. Yep.
yeah, and that's sick, dude. Like the first day you posted that, I was like, how are you doing this? And so I've been blowing up like senior living places and all that to try to get their schedules, which is harder than you led me to believe. But it's but no, it's yeah, I'm excited about so many things. Like the fire burns super hot right now, and yeah, I'm really excited about it.
I think you should just be a spokesperson for our programs. That was great. Can we just
Yeah.
clip that and put it on social media?
Well, dude, it's always been, and I mean, you know, I deal with this. I think we blur the lines a lot of like what the games are and competitive CrossFit like as a sport versus like what's in the affiliate, and they are could not be different worlds. Like people say all the time, my members don't know what the hell is going on, and they don't. They care about not being fat and having bad blood work and diabetes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like I think there's so much to be said to like instill that in people in general, but definitely like girls as they grow older. Because I mean, it's just the doors you close off when you're young because of things you think are supposed to be whatever they're supposed to be, and it's just kind of leads you down a weird path. You're gonna save them years of like rebound and like healing that they have to do, and you can create strength like that when it's physical and mental and all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
We definitely need more advocates like you for sure.
For sure.
Speaking of that, so I actually went back and listened to an old podcast. You're on a Conquer Athlete podcast. I don't even know what year it was, but it was years ago because your
Back
life
in the day. Yeah.
has definitely changed since then when you were talking about what was going on.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that you kind of faked your way into CrossFit coaching and you just kind of, faked it till you made it.
Oh yeah.
Would you believe, that being said, that 10 years later that you would still be doing this and in the industry and killing it, obviously?
No, I mean, a lot of people have like the CrossFit changed my life story from like lost 100 pounds to whatever. It was not that to me, like in the affiliate at first. I think I always thought that I'd be an old fat ball coach and like football coach. Like I was a history major, knew nothing, but I knew I loved people. I never had a problem talking to people or speaking in public or anything like that. So that never made me nervous. The gym I started at was CrossFit 2717 with Mike McElroy. He's actually over Mayhem's performance training now, I think, or he's involved in it heavy. Great guy. And he used to have a lot of weird rules that I did not understand. And we laugh about it now because I text him all the time. Like, I remember thinking this was so dumb, dude, and I get it now. But it changed my life, the trajectory of my life. And I think, moving to Kentucky and getting to see like a really big kind of monster of a gym, I had no clue what I was doing. But my job interview when I coached a noon class at Mississippi CrossFit, first job, it was the first class I ever coached. I just got my L1. I was living and breathing CrossFit journals, working at a Globo gym. As you do when you get into it, you want to absorb as much as you can, right? And first class I ever coached was that interview, and that was a Friday. I started that job Monday, so got thrown right in the fire. I think we did .com the first 6 months I was there because I was terrified of programming and stuff like that, messing people up. But we had a really good thing, and I knew nothing about what I was doing at all. But we figured it out, man. It was similar when I went to Maximus, right? Like I was just a monster of a gym. And I've eaten a lot of crow over the years for like hard stances I had on things I knew nothing about, just to be contrarian and all this stuff. And I had people that knew a little more than me, like Matt Sharp and Lincoln Brown, and we had Jen Smith in there, who's a great coach and athlete for a long time. And just, I think that the ego of it then wouldn't allow me to kind of be a vicarious learner through those people, and kind of progressing through that's made me, I'd like to say, a lot better and continue to get better. But I think we're all trying to grow and learn as we go through it.
What was your moment where you thought like, this is definitely where I'm supposed to be, or maybe your I've made it moment? Is there one that sticks out in your mind?
I mean, I loved athlete things. I think like none of it had anything to do with that. That was always like a side project. I coached for a living always, and I've never athleted for a living. That always felt silly to me. And I was fortunate enough to run into people like Ryan Schultz, who, made ROMWAD to what it was as a brand. And it opened a lot of doors for me to be like, this is being in the affiliate, being able to love on people, and then getting out in the space. I mean, meeting people like Scott Schweitzer with Clydesdale. Like he was volunteering that year at 2018 from the picture, and that's where I met Scott. And I've always made it a point to like, do the shake babies and kiss hands things at events, because I know how hard it is to volunteer and all that stuff, man. And we're out there having fun and competing, and these people are getting worked to the bone for a handshake and a t-shirt, maybe a pair of shoes. And so I always appreciated that stuff. But just like there was no corner of it that I would find where the theme of it was not to like love on people and like do the community thing. And that's continues to be my favorite part of it. And that's why like I will drag as many people in there as I can for you to get just a version of being loved on that you've never gotten before. Whether that's like people cheering for you, doing some kind of athletic endeavor, or just like kind of taking control of your health. But that was it. I think the first 6 months of Mississippi CrossFit, I knew that was what I was going to do. And I just got lucky enough, man. The Lord kept putting me in positions to like further it. And every time I try to get out, boy, I get sucked back into it. So yeah, I can't, I'm in. So I'm 36 now. I think I started when I was 22. So it's been a while. But there's nothing else I'm even remotely interested in doing. And so, we're planted. The roots are going.
I feel like that's kind of everyone's story. Like someone come to like you do it for a summer job, and then 10 years later, this is your job. I remember. So I'm a physical therapist by education, but I got obviously drank the Kool Aid, started coaching when I was in PT school, and I remember I got my L1 and I didn't really have an intention of coaching. I just was like, I love CrossFit. I'm going to go get it. And a local gym posted that they needed a coach. And I was like, let me just go talk to them. And it was kind of the same thing. He was like, I'm going out of town for a week next week and I don't have anyone to cover. If you can do it, you can have the job. Like, here's the keys, open the gym. And I had never coached before at this point. And I remember
That sounds like getting a 5 a.m. coach. You'll come at 5 a.m.
exactly. I was like, I'll come before PT school. Like, and I remember I like couldn't figure out where the light switch was. That's how new I was the first day. And I was like, oh my God, everyone's going to come and the lights aren't on. And here we are 12 something years later and I own a gym. So it
Wait,
case your
Mesa,
stories.
how old are you?
I'm 32.
Okay, am I the old man here? Kate, I'm
Yep.
older than you.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll take it.
How old are you?
36.
Okay. Not that much older.
Barely a master's.
Yeah.
No, look, I get rounded up to 40 if it was money. So I'm old now. So we're getting there.
Tega made a comeback from making fun of your Walmart Jesus earlier. He says nice things about you too.
I love Tega, even when he's got a scooter rolling around the event. So. My little peg leg man.
He's healed now. Don't be mean. Um, so you are one of many who transitioned from athlete to coach, and you maybe were always kind of a coach. But when you're an athlete, especially at the games level, it's a very selfish way of life, right? Like you got to focus on yourself a ton. You got to focus on competing. How do you go from that to putting the focus entirely on athletes? Now you're a brute coach. You run a gym.
Yeah, I was super anti give my life to it, right? I had done that with college football. And I think what we're seeing now is like where the game is, you have to be like an individual athlete for sure. So my cheat code was always to do team. Um, I got lucky enough, man. I was involved with Misfit Athletics, which shit, there's many companies that have come out of that, right? Like Seth branched off, did jump ship and stuff like that. And so we just had such a good group of cats that got in like right as the wave was building, like in 2013, 14. Um, and I always did team because I could have both, right? I could have a life. I'd go drink a beer on Saturday, eat a whole pizza by myself if I wanted to, and I didn't have to like go to bed at 8 p.m. yet or make sure every grain of rice was accounted for and all these things. And that was always my cheat code. And I literally, when they changed the master's age group to 35 to 39, I was like, that'll be it. I'll wait. Well, because the whole season was at home, and my brain will always go back to like 5 week open and regionals format, where like you had to sell your soul, and it was just different, right? And being at home was so good last year, man. Like I trained in a Globo gym all last year, and so I've always been very intentional. Like, and even at that time, like when I was getting pretty good athletically, which I was never that good. I had a lot of good people around me that like helped me get a little craftier. Whether it was like coaches with like Drew and Jason Lyden, Conquer Podcast. Like I've been fortunate enough to be around a lot of the and even now, man, with like Matt and Elle and all them, like I've been super fortunate to be around like some of the better minds in the space, or if it's like Ryan Schultz with branding stuff. But I would never sell my soul for it. My heart's always been to coach, and I athleted for fun, and I was okay enough to be in the room, and that was enough for me, man. Like I never wanted to sell my soul to it. Like even last year, I think I trained the least I'd ever trained. And shout out, Elle had me very prepared, and I got like some weird arthritis thing in my wrist, and so we just went and had a good time. But I would try
on your Instagram. I had forgotten about that. He did like a mixed grip snatch.
I would make fun of people for doing that, but I thank God because they didn't have like minimum work requirements, so I could just sit one out or do what I could do. And we were joking about that, like in the back. And Elle was like, "You can go till you miss." And I was like, "Okay, if I snatch 225 like this, I'm gonna piss myself on the floor." And so, like, I laugh at the end of that video because I was like, "This is hilarious." So, not something I normally do. I've always trained like an old man, and I really like, out of love, bully people into scaling stuff appropriately. Like, hey, we're gonna move well. Like, I love the content CrossFit Training puts out now, where we're really harping on like mechanics, consistency, intensity, and even like best hour of our day has a good flow for like new members that I'll use for onboard stuff, right? Like your first 30 days, mechanics. We'll get into consistency second 30, last one we'll sprinkle in the high intensity stuff. And like it's that's always been my bag, is trying to move well and take care of myself. So I've always trained like an old man, but I I never really sold my soul to it outside of like just loving the space and any hat I could wear. I mean, like I learned how to use a camera half-assed enough till everybody learned how to make movies. Apparently, like I thought I was so good at it, and I get around people like Bennett Looper and Carlos and Tega, who hell Tega does awesome videos now. He's not just a picture man anymore. Um, but it's yeah, it's nuts, man. So it's I've just always loved the space, and like I would give energy to it, but also like was very prioritized to have a life and try to be a good partner and a good coach and friend and all those things, and now dad and all these things.
Well, I will give you your flowers because it is very hard to be at the level you were at without giving your whole life to it. And I think that's becoming harder and harder, right? Like now it's harder to have a life outside of being a professional athlete because the competition is so stiff.
Yeah.
Um, do you think, obviously, like whether or not you gave your life or soul to it, you were still a games athlete, you were still an elite athlete. Do you think that's kind of changed the way or helped the way you approach athletes now when you're coaching them?
Yeah, I think, and I'm probably like the anti-athlete person. Like, I want you to be competitive, like locally, but I also want you to be like the healthiest attorney or dad or teacher, whatever.
I love
And
that.
so, if it's the fruit you want to kind of try to grow on the tree, like I even more so give you the like let's learn how to do stuff well and all that. But that's just like I said, Mike was like that. Like Mike was an efficiency guy. Jason's the same way, even by program. Like Jay took care of me. My body's always been healthy till like literally last year's the first injury I've ever had doing CrossFit. And like, so it's
Impressive.
not been wild. Yeah. Well, I will stop, man. Like I've never been a running into the ground. I wish I could. I just my brain was like, if I can't do it well, I'm gonna get hurt. And like I didn't get hurt in football, so I'm not gonna do it here. And that's like I think everybody has their thing they impress on people as a coach, whether it's like their injury history. Like I got a bad back, so we're not gonna deadlift a lot or some stuff like that. But I think the old man things I try to throw on people is like, hey, we're gonna take care of ourselves and we're gonna recover as hard as we train and give those as much value and all that stuff. And my remote athletes will tell you like they get mad about those questions sometimes. Like I'm one of the I just got a message from one of them, but she's one of my masters athletes. But like I think you can do it and do it well and let it be what it is, even if you want it to be competitive. And like now, like you said, like I don't think like we're fortunate enough with Brute to work with like podium athletes on every podium, women, men, whatever, adaptive masters, and those people like Dallin Pepper does nothing but fitness and like be a husband, and she, they're great, man. Like she's so involved. I love watching them do stuff together. Same with James. Um, and I think DB does an awesome job of doing that. Like she very visibly has a life outside of this. She's also a savage on the floor, and like
Mhm.
I love her brain for competing and her intensity and all that stuff. And so I think she's a really good picture of like doing both. But it's very hard to be like very high level now as an individual and have anything else going on.
Yep. We
For
were
sure.
actually talking about that on the phone the other day about Danielle, about how cool it is that she's she's just great. And she like still lives her life. Like she's very open about she likes to go out and hang out, and she's in Tampa, they go downtown, and I just think that's really cool that she's open about that and doesn't really hide it. And she's like, I'm gonna do what I want, and if that means I don't get on the podium because of it, that's cool, but I still get to hang. So
Dude, the best thing about her is how unapologetically herself she will always be. And I
Yep.
respect that to the utmost. So like even down to like the intense part on game day, like she plays it like a sport. Like if she ain't cool, y'all ain't cool. Not here, not there, or anywhere.
Yeah, I love
And
that though. I love
I
it.
no, I love it about it. I used to fuss because I used to tell people Rich like everybody was just gonna be buddies all the time because of Rich was doing like the Tim Tebow thing, and now we're getting to where like it's a savage thing. Like and there's other outlets and things like this, and everybody. I think when you inject money into it, it gets to where it's a little weird and uptight, and we're kind of seeing the fruits of that now, kind of across the board. But the game's still the game, man. I love it and every version of it. I think it has seasons like everything else, and we're just in a kind of everybody trying to figure out the hat they want to wear and how they want to do it.
Talking about elite athletes, I'm curious about kind of how you got involved with Brute, what drew you to it. I am using Brute for my class programming.
Bless you, bless you.
The thing that I do individualized programming. I have an online programming business. A lot of it is physical therapy based. And I think this is more common now, but Brute was seemingly one of the first camps to do hyper individualized programming. Like you had a lot of elite athletes doing very different things, which you didn't see in a lot of places. And that was kind of what drew me to looking into Mat Tours and Brute and all those things more. Is that what drew you to it? Tell me about that.
So just an affiliate coach, did Misfit program until regionals. I went and coached a camp with them, and we all just kind of hit it off, man. So I was actually like the first remote coach with them. And so we just did template stuff, right? So you would get some tweaks things, but what you got access to was like video review. And I was really focused. I had such a good group of people, man. I'm still friends with most of them, all of them till this day. But it was just the relationship part with them. And I was very anti-remote, like individualized coaching then, just to bring it full circle. I thought, hey, you need the community. Program is programming, right?
Okay.
And if you ask me anything at the time, if you ain't doing bitch work and all the stuff we had going on, like, whatever. But I think OPEX or OP, it used to be OPT. I think
Mhm.
a lot of branches off that tree are what we know to be camps now. And like me, El, Matt, I know training think tank people and all that, like, and Mike, even like all these people do a lot of education stuff through them. And Jason Lyden's actually the person that got me into remote coaching. And it wasn't until after French Throwdown that year, the first competition I did with Christian Harris. And me and him are similar size guys. I've never been a distance guy, and him and Kelly Baker. And I'm certain Kelly drug his ass on this run because she's a sicko. She just had a baby. She'll be back to sicko mode in no time. But um, they ran an ungodly pace for that event. I think it was 8 or 10K. But he showed me his watch with his pace. I was like, what the hell are you doing? Because we're the same strong and gymnastics, but what is this? Introduced me to Jay, and I knew Jay. Like, guys over 6 feet at CrossFit used to be a rare thing. This was still that time.
Mhm.
Now that everybody's 6 foot, 200 pounds, weird. But Jay was like tall, slinky dude, a lot like I tell Elle. Like I told Elle when I used to see him in the back, I was like, you're like one of the blackest men I've ever met. You don't say a word, and your facial expression never changes. I thought you were like a villain in a scary movie. And he's not. Elle's hilarious. Like, but I saw the needle move further faster when I got to things that were for me. Right, the
Mhm.
template works till it doesn't, because if it's for everybody, at some point it's for no one. And
Yep.
you spend a lot of time praying that this cycle meets you at the skill you need, and pray they start at the level you are, or you just kind of got to wait.
Yep.
And Jay had me doing things that I had not really paid a lot of attention to, as far as like structure and balance, and building those things, the base of those things very big to be able to stack on top of it really high. And Brute, as I knew them, like 2017 when they beat Rich's team, I was there on the floor, and it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Because like seeing Adrian Conway talk shit to people was one of my favorite things. He's one of the most like articulate cats. He speaks fluent L1 and all these things. That whole Stop the Mayhem campaign was one of my favorite things ever. And that was like the last 6-person team year. But that's how I knew them. Right, it was a different cast of characters then, but they had Bukowski, they had Cara, a ton of people at that time. Like Haley was there. It was one before Chris Henshaw went and did aerobic capacity. But they had just like a real think tank of really smart people. And I knew Matt Bruce, the weightlifting guy, with them from hosting the Mississippi State Championships at Mississippi CrossFit way back. I got to meet him and Coach Hatch, which was like a religious experience. And I wasn't even a weightlifter. I just knew them. And Coach
Mhm.
Hatch is terrifying. He's a giant man. Um, but I that was it to me. It meets you. It enables you to have one, a deeper relationship with the athletes, and two, you work off objective things. Like if Kate's my athlete, we're going to go through testing. I'm going to see where T spine's limited. I know Kate has like no internal rotation in her hips because I've seen her do squat cleans and all this stuff, and so you can assess those things. Yeah, but you still power clean 245, so nobody's saying a word.
Oh no.
That's what
I
that's
was
what's
like,
so
it doesn't
funny,
matter. She
dude.
works with it well.
Seeing people talk crazy about you and then knowing in public you could like choke slam them like the Big Show in wrestling is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yep.
But it's that was what drew it to me. And then further, I tried to get on at one point, did not, and kind of circled back around. Matt Bruce gives me a call. Did one episode for their podcast before Micah took that over, and then now me, my best friend Jeff, who was my roommate in college, he was my center. I was the best man in his wedding. That's my guy. He's one of our coaches now as well. Matt Torres, L, DC. I mean, the guy that writes the affiliate programs, Jaden, he's in Australia. but it's one, all of our personalities, we're all homies. Lindsay Preslepa is our gymnastics coach. Like, she's amazing. And so there's such a eclectic group of people who have different strengths with us. And Matt's relationships with athletes, I mean, he's had Dallin since he was 10 or something like that, right? Like, and that's the consensus. And like, I don't know anyone that has more data on getting people across like age groups and all that stuff. And I thought that before I got involved, and then getting involved, seeing processes and all these things. And even as we went through change in the last like 2 years, um, it's doing nothing but growing, man. And the proof's kind of in the pudding, right? It doesn't matter what umbrella it's under. We'll go and do well, and we're there as a squad, and it's, you know, we're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna take some people's lunch money.
I love it. Do you think Brute's going to be on both podiums this year?
Yeah. That's it. Like, there's somebody put in the comments like, that's why she'll never be the fittest on earth. Talking about Danielle. Look, bud, she'll find you at the event. She'll talk. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I
Check
my
yourself.
my favorite thing is going and like it being a surprise to everybody, right? Like last year at the games, James, you know, circumstance or not, fittest man on earth. Like, and the kid comes out of Wapalooza like he's listened to every podcast and people talk about it and like, hey, well, still got it, right? But there's still the element of not knowing what's going to be programmed. I think we do a really good job of preparing athletes from not just like a programming standpoint and having them physically prepared, but the things you get on site. And I mean, you know, there are a million camps and a million relationships and a million ways to go about it, but I know what we do is effective and kind of as a group and all that good stuff. And like, it's hard to argue with when you got 2 or 3 podiums and one on the girls and a few in the top 10. So
But
yeah,
people will still argue.
oh, we love to argue now. It's everybody's love language. It's in the back of the book. It's in the fine print. Acts of service, argue. It's in the back.
I love
So,
it.
talking about that, there is a lot of controversy between what seems like the CrossFit Games and WFP. We saw you all of Brute at WFP, made it on the podium as well. What is your thoughts on the controversy between the two, if any, and what are your thoughts?
So I like both. I got there and immediately thought what everybody thought, like the budget's really big, but I mean, I think there's some refinement to be done. And I think putting your best foot forward first is not a bad deal. You know, setting a weird precedent's hard, but nothing you can't navigate. And I think like we like to argue about it, but at the end of the day, man, like nobody gets pissed about grid bullshit or not bullshit. It's actually cool to watch now. Kelsey did good there too, and I think they invited DB and she did great. So weird.
Yeah.
But I don't hate when there are branches off of the tree of CrossFit. I think everybody bitches about like athletes think this and they're entitled to that. Well, now there's like another option, but we also bitch about that. And you know, they comb through like weird shit. Like I've never missed an open, but I had to do, right? And so I think none of those things infringe on it. I think like I said, when we inject money into it, now it's a different conversation. Everybody does have managers and things like this, and they're trying to make a living doing it, which I don't hate, man. I think you used to have to like own a gym to be able to train full time, and that's just not the reality anymore. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think having competition in the space, and I do wish that it was more direct competition. That they came out and said, yeah, dude, we're competing with the CrossFit Games season. What's good? Like I think that's if you could go back, that's probably the move. And then there's a lot less talk about being secretive and all this stuff. Like I don't hate when people decline to do whatever, but you know, interview or whatever. Like if you're gonna get in there and get ambushed, like whatever, man, don't roll it. I love talking shit. I'd get on there, but it's I don't hate it. I mean, my thing, like, you know, I've been through all the seasons of this, right? I think the only version of it I missed was sectionals, but and that's what NorCal felt like. I put that in their little comments thing, but I don't
You're
hate
not
that.
that old because you missed sectionals.
Sectionals is old, homie. Sectional. Mike McElroy tell you about sectionals, but they, I think the more trees that come off that, or the more branches that come off the tree across it, man, like I don't hate it. I think high rocks is great for like, I can send every member of my gym to do a high rocks.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're gonna have a good experience, and we fuss about like the separation of church and state as far as affiliates in the games.
Mm-hmm.
Well, awesome. Like let them go do their thing, and let the affiliates like let's get back to what that's supposed to be, right? Like the beacon of health and changing lives through this methodology that we all love. Like I'll never be mad when somebody's because like you know what it is. Like it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck. It's CrossFit. That's fine. And there are guys doing it who have sat in those athlete briefings and had to shut the hell up out of fear of being like, you know, pushed out or whatever. And like if you've Savon's been in them, like, and I think Savon does awesome work and covers the sport. I think Savon is the NFL films of CrossFit. Like I'll never argue with that. I love their whole thing they got going on. And even like Tyler used to work at Maximus, like worked out with Tyler a million times. So know him deeply. Congrats on having your baby, my man. But it's I think we're just in the media part of it where everybody, I understand everybody needs views and all that stuff, man, but like it's constant like negative stuff and like seeking things out to fuss about when like I think it can all be this cohesive thing, like, even if it's like an NFL, UFL thing or not XFL, we probably don't want to go that route. But like I didn't think the show was bad. Like you guys did a great job covering athletes coming off the floor. The athlete setup was amazing. Um, Tyler, you dick. It's too late, brother. You're roped in. The setup was amazing. I thought the event ran well. The light thing was a little weird. I'll give you that, safety wise. Um, but I think like it's gonna be fine, dude. Like the first year is gonna be the first year. In my brain for what I'm gonna see, and I think you guys will see when they go overseas, is like it's gonna be a lot more turned up for Europeans. And in my brain, like just super casted out science fiction theory, that'll end up being like the European Championships. CrossFit Games will be over here, and then we have this like opportunity for like a World Cup type scenario. But I mean, like in Florida, dude, the grid thing's growing. It looks very organized and cool now. And there's people that like did the original version of it doing the commentary where they kind of bit off more than they can chew. And now they're kind of getting it to where it'll roll. So I think everybody needs to operate with a little more grace. I wish things were a little more straightforward, but everybody makes heat of the moment decisions based on like protecting their business and themselves. And like everybody's done that at one point or another, so I don't think it's crazy. I dig it. I think the more opportunities, the better. Um, you know, if after a season you get a taste of both and you like one, okay, cool, pick that. It's fine. Like it's not that big a deal. And
Choices, right? I mean,
and
nobody's
dude,
twisting your arm.
the best thing about this, and it's the best and worst, is there is always the next man up, right? Which means there's always a new story. Like I keep getting spammed on Instagram for these like it's like not me daydreaming about the 2015 or 17 games. And it's like Brooke slamming a barbell or something like that. Like when all things were cool before everybody got fired and the stories got a little different, or
The
deadlifting
good
and
old
water.
days.
Yeah, which we're not going to get back there with like the crazy divisive stuff. I think like having different commentary teams was awesome. And like I love Sean and Tommy and all the boys and Chase, like the homies. But I don't hate new faces. I don't hate like any iteration of like Seth did commentary for WFP. I thought it was awesome. And Seth is one of the smartest cats in the game and has been for years, and has such a like depth of knowledge for like being around in one capacity and another, owning affiliates, having different brands of like competitive stuff and all that. Like, I mean, he's been around and done it, so he did an awesome job. I think the more opportunities you have to have more personalities doing those things, the better. Like, I don't think anyone loses here, because there's always, especially for the CrossFit Games, next man's up, right? And so when people break that barrier, then there's another man that's trying to do it. Like it's just the circle is not going to end,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's bad.
Do you think, like, obviously you've dabbled in media a little bit and you kind of touched on this, but do you think what's happening with the media affects athletes, affects affiliates?
Dude, everybody has like a media guy now. So like where I would love for like Marston and all them to still be going around doing road to the games. I think the level of things they're able to produce as a team, like, and especially staying together, like they're a fruit. It's crazy what they're doing. Immediately after all that stuff happened. Do I think it affects it? I mean, the stir up maybe in the off season, but I mean, they used to do team series and liftoff and all this shit to stay engaged all year too, and they don't do that anymore, and that's fine. But it just makes a lot more gap room for like digging around for stuff to fuss about.
Do you how do you think that does the media affect your athletes or brute athletes at all? Like, if they look at the comment section on videos on their Instagrams, like, do you have to have conversations with them about that? And what does that look like?
No, if anything, they love.
Stay out
I
like
think,
nuts.
yeah, no, I think a lot of them, I think, love it. Like the boys started a podcast because of it. Like it's
Yeah.
awesome, and like Jason talks shit like he played football. I love that, and like Dallin's involved in it now. So like somebody said, it was like they're making CrossFit great again. It's like Dan and Rich and all them back in the day, and it's awesome. And like it couldn't be better dudes doing it. Like James the same way. I think there's more opportunity for people to create their own avenue for it. I think like James does an awesome job on YouTube. Dallin's too. Like Carlos that does his in Jacksonville does an awesome job, man. He was at WFB and like made a movie. He's so good. Like he does all our brute videos and stuff too. So I think that, again, there's more opportunity for people to like make their own brand, and you honestly have to do it now. So
Hmm. Do you think that changes the game that like their job isn't just being an athlete now? It's kind of also building their brand at the same time, right?
I mean, it's always kind of been that way, right? Like I mean, I remember when Progenics was around and like
Ooh,
Reebok athletes and all that stuff. Like the dream was, yeah, boy, look, that Cocoon still, I miss Cocoon. If they still make that, somebody put the link. But
you're aging yourself.
dude, look, there's a gym in Huntsville that still sells it. I was like, is all this expired? Do they still do this? Yeah, I
Is
mean,
it?
I think being on camera is the blessing, right? If you're on camera at the games, it means you did something right, or you did something really wrong. But no press is bad press, and it's just a lot more opportunity for it. And I think they're doing a good job of maximizing it. I think like the stuff that Rad does with DB was awesome. I think like humanizing people, giving a story, and letting you know they're not just robots that lift weights is awesome. And like James and all that stuff, and then Dallin and all them. Like I think getting to know them is a lot easier because you don't have to wait for that one point in the year when they start kicking it on. But it's I don't think it hurts necessarily. But if they get in the comments, fuels them up maybe. Uh, I would. Yeah, there might be like I don't know, but I would stay out just because I like to engage too much, and I'd get into like a real just doom scroll typing, burning my thumbs up kind of deal. But you know, I don't think it hurts them that bad.
We have two questions for you left. The last one is, what kind of legacy do you want to leave, whether that's in the sport or just in your life?
Man, that I just had, and I really try to focus on this now, man, is like just that I had like a servant heart and stuff, and I never like passed up an opportunity to go love on somebody, and get to know them and give them like the joy I have going to do all these things like in the sport. 'Cause it's been such, I've met some of my best friends in the space, man. My best friend got out of like his insurance job to get in. Jeff, he works for now like CrossFit. He just sold his affiliate, so like he's a full time brute guy now. His wife was a national level weightlifter, like, and they were coming off of like he'll call it Fat Jeff, who was at Arkansas Monticello playing football and was injured. And I mean, my man he looks like John Wellborn now. Like he's super jacked. Like he's a 270-pound dude who can do, or no, let me not get that right. He's light now, but he can big boy do it muscle ups. Like it's it's changed my life so much and facilitated me to be able to love on people and receive love, and like creating that for people has kind of been like what I've always tried to do. And that's kind of like what I hope that'll be the thing. If I ever do get out of it, I hope that's what people remember about it.
But you're never getting out of it, right?
Yeah. No, I can't do it. Can't do it.
You can tell when you talk about it that you're so passionate about it. But Kate, obviously, I met you at WFP, but Kate knew you a little bit more prior to this. And when we were talking about this show, she was like, "You're gonna see Dex just like is a man of the affiliate. Like he loves the affiliate." And I think talking to you, that's obviously very true.
Yeah, well, that's why like everybody we do the athlete questions, and like I love that because it's always my opportunity to go like see the homies because none of them live closer to me. Like nobody's ever lived close, right? Like I'd make sure I go to the games, especially if Chandler was competing or wherever, just because like those were my people, man, and they have been most of my adult life, especially after like 2015. And so I cherish it a lot, man, and I love to see that it's going back up, and I hope we're going in the right direction. Like I think sales and all that stuff, I'm ready for a cool announcement, so I think it's going to be a good thing. But um, I'm excited for where it's going. I don't think like CrossFit's dying or anything like that. I think we're just kind of getting to where we're standing on firm ground again, and it'll continue to always be what it's been, and that's to enrich people's lives and help them live longer, healthier, more functional lives.
Preaching to the choir. That's what we've been saying. At the end of the day, like that is really all that matters, right? Like
Yeah,
even if we talk about the sport, like the foundation is still the same.
yeah, always.
Well, you can do a soapbox, a hot take. You kind of have. We'll give you a couple minutes to give us your hot take. We do this
The
at the end of
floor is yours.
yeah.
Well, that's my hot take. Oh man, I think that was my hot take. I said it earlier. I think WFP becomes the European Championships. I think it's going to be ungodly the turnout they have. Is it Denmark?
Yeah.
Copenhagen, yep.
Copenhagen, yeah. So I think that's going to end up being a big hit in Europe, whether they glue themselves to that or not. I don't think. So I know there's a lot of pots on the stove for them, but I think the more we settle into a routine for CrossFit and all that stuff, I'd love to see that kind of World Cup scenario, man. Just I think it'd be really cool for the sport. Like if you think back to when like everything was popping and it the Invitational where we had like countries and all this stuff. Like that was a real sweet spot, man. And they had those things in Europe, and people always, I mean, you've seen it, like the European regionals used to go nuts.
Yeah,
Um,
don't European competitions have like way higher attendance rates?
well, we're just spoiled, man. Like we're just big spoonfuls over here, right? And it's just
So
not.
much to choose
It's
from.
relative to over here. It was new, and like they show up, man. I mean, like at Torian Pro, like I want to go to Torian Pro because it looks like a WWE event. Like I just want to do that so the fire goes off when I come out. But yeah, and they're talking about Rogue. Like Rogue was insane having it over there,
Hmm.
and so I think, yeah, I think that's gonna. I would love for that to culminate in like a World Cup thing. Then there's another opportunity, right? And then everybody. I think at some point there'll be like a everybody calls this truth thing. We can work together once all the little kind of butthurt feelings settle. But I think it's a big enough sandbox for everybody to play. Does everybody want it to be called a certain thing and you need to say this and that? Like you don't, man. Like just let people figure their shit out and like everybody can have like a healthy thing to go do. But if you don't, fight in the parking lot at an event. Pick one.
Are you going to be at Copenhagen?
Hell no. I'll be at Mesa for sure. I am too tall for planes for that long. That's not true. I would go if somebody took me out there, but I ain't paying for it. But I'll be in Mesa for sure. I think I made enough good like dick jokes for James at the first WFP event, so I'm required to go now. So
Got it.
I'm so good at handing out shaker cups and doing warm ups. But yeah, I'll be at that one. I think I'm going to be in Albany. I'm pretty sure, but I'm definitely going to be at the Adaptive Games. My man Dustin McCollum is going to be there. We're shooting to get on that top 5 this year. He did great last year, so it's his second return trip. And I'll be in Columbus for Masters games. Not strictly because my brother lives there, but it's a big chunk of it. So yeah, and to see Scotty. I love to go see Scotty, my guy. Yeah,
So,
that was my favorite. That's my favorite picture, Tega. Whoever took that picture of me after the complex, where it was not that good, but I look hard in that picture. Good year.
nobody remembers that it wasn't that good. It's just a good
That's
shot,
all right.
right?
That's all right. Hey, picture. You can make up a story about a picture.
So, I will close it out. In the near future, me and Kate are going to be comparing, contrasting, discussing training camps.
Hmm.
So, as a little preview, do you want to tell me why you think Brood is the best?
Oh, we peeled over that. I think everybody has their. It's Baskin Robbins for sure. A lot of different flavors, right? I think. I feel like we all have a very similar flow, man. It's just different personalities, right? Like I think Max on the train think tank, like CTP, known him for a while, like love all those cats.
You're
Um,
too humble. You're supposed to talk about why you are the best.
well, no, we have people on every podium. I don't even have to talk about it. Like check the leaderboards. It's
No explanation
proofs
needed.
proofs in that pudding. But we yeah, and I think like longevity and like people coming in and out that aren't business decisions. Like when Carl left to go to Mayhem, business decision for sure. Um, but like Dallin, James has been there forever, and like the trajectory has never dipped. Right, slow incline to a cult like Dallin, fittest man in America a few years. James wins last year, and so Jason's gonna have an awesome year. And so and DB is gonna continue to get better, I think.
Fee
She's on,
is on the come
yeah,
up.
and Fee, dude, I love Fee. But yeah, it's just we got a good group of folks, man. I think, and we're sticky with people, right? Like there's not a lot of in and out or turnover, and so and the proof's just kind of in the pudding. There's not nobody gets on and gets worse. So I think that's without shitting on anybody because I'm cool. I'm cool with everybody, but we get down on the last day for the podium. So
But like, we can fight in the parking lot if we need to.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm
Um,
all for that. Bring back mutual combat.
I want to be there if it happens. We'll be in Mesa, so let us know.
If you choke slam somebody in the parking lot, I'm getting my phone out and we're going TMZ.
We'll break the internet for sure.
I've
That's
Um,
never
it.
been in a fight, so that's not going to be me, but I'll watch for sure.
she'll just do a like power clean comp and beat everybody.
She's the security person that nobody messes with because she just stands outside the door. I'm gonna act right today. She's
Why do
6
you
foot
think
tall.
that I'm partnered up with her? Like nothing's gonna happen to me standing next to her, right?
So are we doing the same thing, Mesa? You guys are on we're on athlete duty for coming off the floor.
That's the plan, I think.
Yeah, I
Very
think,
cool.
yeah. So we'll all see each other there for sure.
Yeah, for
Before we
sure. We'll be
close
there.
out, Dex, the people think you're a country singer and have been paying for you to sing songs. So your accent.
I've done some George Strait at karaoke bars before. So, But my accent is very southern. My insides are very coastal. So it's I love it down here, and I cannot get rid of it. I actually tried to get rid of my accent with like voice lessons or like speech stuff. 2 years, could not get rid of it.
Dude, don't do that. We love it.
And well, I wanted to do this. Like I thought, I text Chase. I was like, "Hey, Bubba, I want to get in the booth. Like, what's up? Like, how do we do this?" He said, "It's never been a worse time to be a middle-aged white man trying to get hired on TV." I said,
This is
"That is
accurate.
fair.
It's accurate.
That's fair. That's fair." But he and Chase is from Texas and has no accent, so it's yeah, I can't get rid of it. But so we've embraced it now. It's all good,
Yeah,
and people can I talk a little slower now, so people can understand me. But I'll get to going too fast, and it'll get ugly.
we
I
love
don't
it.
even know who is Dixon Dallas, Mike. I don't even know who this is. Amarillo by morning, I can get down on though, Trish. Two beers in,
We're
Amarillo by
just gonna
morning is
have to
going
have
down.
like a part two
Yeah,
where
karaoke.
Kate's fighting in the parking lot and you're singing in the background some country music.
You
I
can
think
yeah,
we
you
do
can
with
hold
the
the
internet.
camera. We'll mic up. We'll do it.
Love it. All right, Dex. Well, we always appreciate you coming on. Super pumped
Thank
to
you
have
so
you as our first guest. It was really fun. Hopefully, we'll do it again soon. It sounds like we have another one coming with you
Got to.
singing. So,
We got to. Yeah,
um,
I'll see you guys in Mesa. Thanks for having me.
thanks. Bye, Dex.
Bye guys.
All right, guys. That was it. Thanks for hanging with us. We did not address a lot of comments today. That was intentional. Just kind of wanted to give him a platform to talk and have more of an interview style. Next week, we will go back to addressing comments and interacting with you guys. We are going to be talking about training camps, hot or not. So we'll come with some hot takes for next week.
Yeah, and if there's any questions, thoughts you have leading into talking about training camps, drop them. We'll address them next week.
If you guys aren't following us, please go follow us on Instagram and let us know if there's anything you want to talk about. But we will talk to you guys next week. We'll see you then. Bye, guys.